My name is Alisha Henderson and I'm a creative baker, children's author and educator from Melbourne. I've been running my business Sweet Bakes for the last 8 years. I didn't quite intend to have such a flourishing business when I first started, so for the first 18 months I was totally chasing my tail. My books were shambles, a total disaster to begin with. I was studying a journalism degree, I was working as a dancer and just started posting photos of my cakes onto social media. The whirlwind that was to follow totally caught me off guard. So when I did start using QuickBooks, it totally transformed my understanding of how my business was performing. Because the platform is so visual, it really helped me grasp the ins and outs of accounting. Daunting, number-riddled programs and words that I don't understand cease to exist on QuickBooks, which makes it kind of fun for creative brains to use. I remember my first tax time asking my mum, "So how does this work?" Fortunately, she had always done my dad's books through his freelance business, but we were still a little bit confused as we had so much mess to sort through. Mum was actually the one who researched what accounting platform I should use and decided that QuickBooks was going to be the best for what I was doing. We ended up falling in love with the program so much that she also moved my dad's business over. Once moving on to QuickBooks, the stress of the inner workings of my business completely dissipated. I remember being so excited, setting up each of my ingredients and my materials suppliers and having automatically segregated expenses was such an eye-opener. Seeing this laid out so visually really helped me to understand where I was overspending and also to set myself new salary targets. This also really helped me set personal goals for myself, but to the same degree also when I had that little bit of financial freedom so I could say no to jobs and have some well-deserved rest. Working with an excellent accountant, particularly over the last 12 months, is something that I would encourage all small business owners to do. I wear enough hats in my business and trying to wear that one as well is something I just won't do. Leaving something that needs so much time and careful planning and understanding is much better left in a professional's hands. I do remember being hesitant about the fees associated with accountants to begin with, but those have come back to benefit my pocket time and time again. I've actually noticed that over the last 4 years that I've been working with my current advisor, this is when I've had the most growth in business, I've worked on my most exciting projects, so I'm going to take that as a really good omen. Not only has my accountant always advised me on how I should be financially structuring my company, say being a sole trader versus a company, but particularly over this COVID period has been able to tell me what incentives my business is eligible for. Buying a new car for cake deliveries has been something that I've been working really hard for a number of years. My accountant was able to advise me on the best time to make this purchase where it became a taxable business expense. 2 years ago, I had my first book published, which added a new revenue stream to my business. Initially, there was really heavy outlay before exciting fast sales started coming through. Having an accountant there to work with me through this new business structure was so important. So much so that now I have such a good understanding of the ins and outs of publishing that I feel confident enough for future projects and maybe even self-publishing.
I've always had a bit of a problem misplacing my receipts, so I'm pretty thrilled that I can just snap a photo and scan any receipts while I'm out that will match up with my supply expenses.
Having the QuickBooks program so well structured with no messy ends makes my life so much easier. I have so much more time now to focus on the really personal details that I bring to my brand. Also, QuickBooks have this really fabulous service called Find a Pro Advisor Directory. All you do is type in your postcode and it'll tell you what accountants are near you. I love that my accountant can access all of my information through the accountant portal on QuickBooks. Because we haven't been able to meet in person so much this year, they can see all of my information online without having to set up a meeting.
I'm in the car just as many hours as I am in the kitchen, doing hundreds of deliveries each month. The absolute best thing to ever happen to this cake courier was the live mileage tracking through the QuickBooks phone app. I turn this on my delivery routes and it calculates my eligible deduction. No logbook needed, which has been such a game changer for me who had previously never had time to manually record this business expense.
Being self-employed and wearing all of the hats from baker, dishwasher, marketer, driver, you get the picture, time is the most valuable thing to me. Not being weighed down by the tedious daily ins and outs of accounting is super important. Having my accountant and QuickBooks take care of all of these things so I have the time to serve my amazing community is a true joy.